Hello everybody, how are you guys doing today? So, today we are going to be playing a little more Elden Ring, but first I wanted to rank the different bosses of Elden Ring itself. And as we continue to get started on that, I am going to just take it step by step. So, give it a moment. Stream's still doing a little bit of catch up, as it were, making it work. Gonna work. Let's see, is it coming up? Sorry. There's still some things going on. Move items to trash. Get ready. Paste. Enter. Post. Cool beans. So, ranking every Elden Ring boss. Obviously, we're not going to be doing every single one. We're going to be like the ones that are just patent rehashes. We're just not going to do, and I'll just gloss over. This is why we have the filler and frustrating bosses that are just a right pain in the ass to deal with for a variety of reasons. I am ranking these based on primarily their lore that I'm aware of, their design, how interesting, how cool the fight is, and how and whether or not it's whether or not it's bullshit or compelling. So, the first one we're gonna do with the ancestor spirit. So I already deeply dislike the giant arena rooms. So, like, for example, the ancestor spirits are for me not real, like, and the regal ancestor spirit are not fantastic. Personally, I kind of have an issue with how they are, you know. I found that the bosses that are the fights are more intimate to be more compelling and engaging. So for that reason, while I think the ancestor spirit is fine, it's not good. It's certainly not filler or frustrating. It's just average. Ancient Dragon Landsax. I actually don't think I've ever gone to, like, completely killed this boss, so I actually am going to leave this out of the list because I don't have enough to speak on for this one. Commander Nail. This one is just straight up frustrating. Commander Nail himself is fine, but the problem is that the two summons he uses in the first stage are really frustrating. And once you kill both of them and you're going on, like, the bosses, the fight is fine and compelling. It's fine, but I can't. It's so frustrating, and it was such a wall for me in my first run, and almost every run after that, with the exception of, like, maybe two, that I can't help but put it in frustrating. Commander O'Neill, on the other hand, is average. He's actually not that much of a threat. It's more of just, like, how often can you get close to him to deal damage. His ads are more of a threat than he is personally, and the biggest threat he has is that Scarlet Rot Tornado. But if you're either cognizant of timing or you're running Bloodhound Step, it's a stupidly simple solution to just run out of the way. Adila. I would probably end up putting Adila ahead of O'Neill for this. I would probably put Adila, and I'm probably gonna. This is gonna be for the majority of the dragons. I would probably put them ahead of the Ancestor Spirit because the dragons themselves are interesting enough, even though they're different types. But I will put Agheel up here in good. The reason I'm putting Agheel in good is because it is part of the trifecta of early Elden Ring bosses. You are fairly fucking likely to run into this boss, to run into the Tree Sentinel, and to run into Margit, and these are the trinity, I feel, of Elden Ring, that if I didn't fight these particular bosses, I would have had a much harder time with the rest of the game, because Agheel teaches you to utilize your horse in combat properly, which is something that you wouldn't have had otherwise, and all of the other dragons are significantly less forgiving. Borealis, on the other hand, is what I would put under frustrating. Certainly, Commander Nail is more frustrating than Borealis is. Actually, I'd probably put him ahead because I know, like, the lower you are on the list is the worst. The problem is that this dragon fight is just purely fucking frustrating, simply for the fact that the way frost effects and status effects function in the game is they realistically result in you taking more damage, and he has a lot of, like, really unique dragon attacks that other ones don't really seem to have, that make things much more difficult. So like, his one breath attack will just hit you repeatedly, and if you're just within range, you just die. And again, getting hit with the frost immediately press frost, and you get hit repeatedly with the multiple ticks, and it's just a bad time. Ezekiel's, or whatever, the Scarlet Rot Dragon, is I found that this one was, like, less compelling than Adula, because Adula, you fight in, you're fighting it in an environment with a little bit more cover compared to Ezekiel's is just straight up large, flat, open area, and you're going to have a bad time. It almost isn't enough space for you to be running around a lot with Torrent either. And as a result, I feel like Ezekiel's is... And plus, Scarlet Rot as a status effect is really, really unfun to fight against, personally. But I wouldn't put it in Borealis for that very reason. Grail is... I would probably put... I'd probably put him between Ezekiel's and Grail, because the Scarlet Rot status effects of Ezekiel's breath is bad enough, but Grail being on such a tight environment on that bridge fighting him is just patently unenjoyable and not something I'm really fond of. The Dragonkin Soldier, there's not really much I can say. I'd probably put him between... I'm probably actually here. I'm going to add row below and just make unoffensive. And let's actually make sure I spell that properly, because your boy can't freaking spell at all. Add row below. We're going to change this column to be blue. There. Okay. We'll make this one filler. Cool. So I would probably put the Dragonkin soldiers. Where did I put the Dragonkin soldier? Here it is. Inoffensive. I'll put the other Dragonkin soldier in the Lake of Rot below that. Simply, honestly, I'll probably put this one in filler, and I would even put it. See, when I fought it, I was already on my playthrough, like, number 3 or 4 at that point. Therefore, I wasn't necessarily dealing with the issues of I was
I have paper here. Do I have a pen? Hey Evan.
Yes, honey?
I need a pen.
Okay. Sorry, I'll be right back.
Thank you. Alright, I have a paper.
Oh, goodness gracious. Alright, so the only reason just because the actual Dragonkin Soldier fight wasn't that bad, I feel like other people might put it in frustrating, but that wasn't what it was for me personally, so that's why it's getting put here in the interim. But the fact that it is situated within the Lake of Rot and how awful that area is as a combat zone alone I would not be upset at people deciding to put the Dragonkin Soldier in the frustrating slot for that reason. We have Dragon Soldier of Noxtella. This was an interesting enough fight. I probably would put these two down in filler. I'd probably put the Dragonkin Soldier in yeah. The Dragonkin fights were not terrible. They were whatever. Shrag was inoffensive. It was a fight, and I'll probably end up lying. I lied. I probably put that one there. I would probably say that Shrag getting that one, the Glintstone Dragon, was serviceable. It wasn't terrible. It was fine. Elmir of the Briar, I would put this as a pretty good fight. I put it in good because it was, don't get me wrong, I got frustrated fighting it, but it was a really complex and interesting boss, and using normal cheesy mechanics couldn't get around it. Especially since most of the times where I was fighting said beast, it was not in a boss room. It wasn't able to cheese summons or anything like that, so you actually had to use skill to get around it, which was cool. Fia's Champion, they were you know what? Hold on. Add a row below. We gotta add one more row. Boring. And I need to make this for the Fia's Champions, because Fia's Champions were stupidly simple to deal with. Very squishy, very infested. It just wasn't very, very good. You have waves of champions, but they're fine to deal with. It was surprisingly sad being able to murk all of them that quickly. Sir Gideon Ofnir, I am putting him under boring because he literally stands still while you set up, and then you can and he has no fucking poise to speak of. So stun block. Really boring fighting Sir Gideon Ofnir. A little more compelling than... Actually, Fia's Champions were more compelling because you had to juggle multiple enemies at the same time. It's a real freaking shame. And we're on to Godfrey's Golden Spirit. This was I feel, a good fight. Mechanically dense, mechanically difficult, and honestly a kind of a good way to introduce you to a boss like Godfrey, but especially since you've run into him later on. Very, very good and healthy in that regard. Godskin Apostle. Let me start with the Noble. The Godskin Noble, I'd put this one as average. I would even put this one under below. They can be put to sleep. Their denial of healing can be frustrating and annoying, but their lore, I think, puts them out of inoffensive, and how kind of easy they are to beat puts them into the average category. I would probably put the Godskin Apostle as frustrating, it's probably the least frustrating out of these three, just because I beat my head against this wall in every playthrough. There's just something about the Godskin Apostles' movements that are so unbelievably anger-inducing. The Godskin Duo, by contrast, is reasonably, I'd say, average. I wouldn't put it above. I wouldn't put it above any of the dragons, but I'd certainly put it above Commander Nail. It can be a bit of a pain in the ass to fight them, but I think it is perfectly serviceable. You 2 sleep pots in you're in business. You use the summon, you're having a grand time. The Leon Misbegotten, they are just boring. Once you figure out their move pattern, they become a standard enemy. They're honestly I would feel filler. They're not as bad filler as these two, but it is a shame. Loretta, Knight of the Hill Tree. It's boring. They're boring. I mean, certainly better than Thea's Champions or Sir Gideon Ofnir, but these two especially, I would probably put this one ahead of Loretta, because at that point in the game, when you get to Loretta, it's a cakewalk. I can say I've probably completed more playthroughs than I have died to Loretta, Knight of the Hill Tree. Royal Knight Loretta, on the other hand, that one kicked my ass quite a bit. So I would actually put that one in the bottom of inoffensive. Magma Worm, filler. Magma Worm Maker, it's okay. Boring. It's a little boring. It wasn't a terrible fight. Even when I fought it the first time, like, I knew that I just needed to be reasonably careful and I'd kill it. So I would put it. I probably would put it above Loretta, because I at least died to it more than I did her. Margit the Fell Almond. This I would put as a great. And I would put, let's see if I can find them. Those are the great bosses, the ring bears. I'm not seeing the Tree Sentinel, which is bothering me. But what I will say is, I am, broadly speaking, generally kind of okay with, alright. You know what, let me just explain why I like Margit the way I do. Yeah, that's odd, I don't see the, yeah, it's odd, I really don't see them. Kaylee, Miss McGosson, Spiel Callers, Diva Mariner, Dragonic Tree Sentinel. Here we are. So even though I'm putting Tree Sentinel above Akil, they're basically on the same level. So Margit being great, the Tree Sentinel, and Akil, this is the trinity of bosses for new Elden Ring games. Margit the Fell Omen, the Tree Sentinel, and Akil. So for basically the reason why I feel like these characters are so unbelievably important is for the fact that they prepare you for the game you're about to play. When you fight Agheel like I said earlier in the stream, when you fight Agheel, the purpose of Fire Dragon Agheel is to essentially teach you, hey, like older Soulsborne players, hey, use your horse. It's useful. It's important. The Tree Sentinel does something really, really interesting and important, which I'll show you right now. When you walk out of the cemetery in the beginning, this is what you see, right? This is what you see. And what you see is you will usually see a NPC right here. You'll usually see Vare standing there. You'll see the tree sentinel over walking back and forth between where you start and the church. You'll see a location you can actually go to. You'll see skyboxes in the background, and you see 1, 2, 3 things. Immediate information for you that's important for you as a player to know. Now, what the tree sentinel as a boss does is it teaches you as a new player, don't fuck with everything you see. You might not be ready for it. And both of these lessons of engaging with the new mechanics and it's okay to not beat your head against a brick wall is very important for when you fight Margit, the Fell Omen, who takes both of these lessons of engage with the new mechanics, the crafting, the stances, the horses, which you don't use in this fight, but point remains the same, and if you in preparation is okay when you're trying to fight a boss. Margit is arguably much harder than he needs to be as a first major boss for most Elden Ring players. He's there as a lesson. You get pointed to Margit to incentivize you to go explore other places. Before I killed Margit, I explored up and down Caelid, mostly dying a lot as a result, because Caelid is fucking terrible. But that is why I put Margit as the first boss in the great category. I would even put him in awesome, and I might refactor it later as we go, but let's be real. Margit the Fell Omen is an excellent boss, even though he is the reason why I think it was 70% of people who had bought Elden Ring weren't able to beat him. He forces you to learn how to read bosses and to not just panic roll. I think that is a unbelievably important lesson for new players to learn. It was certainly important for me to learn about it. But moving on. From Margit, we are on to the Mimic tier, which I would say this is a good fight, but not a great fight. I probably would put Mimic tier at the bottom because it just copies whatever you do. You can troll it out really easily by just unequipping everything you have on, re-equipping it, and then completely murking them. So that is that. The Red Wolf of Radagon is, I'd say it's admittedly a pretty good fight. Is it good or is it average? I'd say I don't feel good putting it in good. Oh, you know what? I'm putting it after the Mimic tier because the Red Wolf of Radagon is, to me, it's a case of it's a more interesting dog fight than I think many of the other fights in the game, because I hate dogs and I generally hate dogs. He moves too much. He's you know what? I'm putting him in average. I can't say I'm a fond of the Red Wolf of Radagon. The Valent Gargoyles. This fight was frustrating. I would say it's less frustrating. I would say it's because the Gargoyles, especially early game, they have basically, I don't think they have any weaknesses at all. I think they're immune to like most, if not all, status effects. And on top of being like those status effects not doing Dicky McGee's acts, it's also the case of, excuse me, it's also the case of, hey, you are kind of freaking stuck dealing with like these two status immune things. You need to have a ridiculous amount of damage. They move around a lot and they hit like a freaking freight train. Like it took me 6 or 7 tries to, Actually, I lost track of how many tries it was when I bought them both next to that waterfall. And that was just like how I got to Deep Root Depths. Astel, Natural Born of the Void. This fight was... I hated this fight for a myriad of reasons. I would say it was probably boring. Not as boring as the magma worms, but it's just like dodge big things. There really is not a lot of like... Its moves are super telegraphed once you know, even though they're kind of wonky in the beginning. But after that, it's kind of a cakewalk. The most problematic thing about it is that it teleports to the opposite ends arena, and so you're just doing a significant amount of running, which is the devil. Dragon Lord Placidusax. I would probably put Placidusax in boring as well. Not as probably like better off than Astil, but just because like he's just a lot of movement. Otherwise, he's just a sitting duck. You can use AoE effects that are continuous to like mark him, but it's unfortunate. The Fire Giant was interesting. I would actually make this as a good fight. It's actually one of the better. I'd probably put him ahead of Akil. It's actually one of the better like fights that incorporates both you're on your hands and knees, like you're on your feet fighting, along with being on your horse. I liked that a lot. Godric the Grafted. Godric the Grafted, the first time I was fighting him was really hard, but then after I got to a certain like level and I understood the game a certain amount, he was an absolute cakewalk. So I would probably put Godric the Grafted as inoffensive up at the top. Lich Dragon Forsythisax was I'd probably say felt like kind of just I would say I need to put, hold on. I feel like filler doesn't make sense here. Filler deserves to be I think it deserves to be in a class of its own. Because again, I don't mind any of these bosses, but they're just not inoffensive, boring. I would probably put Lich Dragon Forsythisax in boring. It was... I probably would end up putting boring here too. That makes sense, because it's like I feel like these gray things should be separate from frustrating and inoffensive. Like these are separate, because I like fighting Placidusax. I like fighting Forsythisax. It's just and these are easy. They're like I feel like these I have different feelings for these, but like if I just feel like they're boring, they're just boring. And that is that. Malekith the Black Blade. This is a frustrating fight. Malekith is just like he moves away. Like the Bleed's Clergyman in the beginning, perfectly fine fight, not an issue. But once he starts like, you can only get a hit or two off on him, and then you're just dodging around trying not to get hit. It's a really obnoxious fight, really. Aiden Thief of Fire is actually a surprisingly good fight, not above the Mimic tier, but I will say his for being a weighty character, he looks like he doesn't move that fast, but he really does. And mixing his incantations of fire with his thing, you've gotta be on guard. It comes out quick. Ancient Heroes Zamor. This is kind of a filler. It was a pain in the ass to fight, and it's in the mobs you fight when you go to Zamor later. Still a pain in the ass to deal with, but it is what it is. Electo Black Knife Ringleader. So the Black Knives are just patently frustrating to fight as a group, and I honestly would put them in filler as well. I hate them, and I hate dealing with them, and they're an enemy type in the game that I can not stand. Erd Tree Watch Barrel Dog is just patently inoffensive. It is arguably one of the first actual boss arenas you will go into if you do the catacomb in this beginning area of Limgrave. The Black Knife Assassins. We'll put that there. Electo. I didn't mind Electo. She was a little frustrating, but I wouldn't put her. I probably would put Malekith ahead of Boros, behind the Apostle, and Electo at the top. Now put him in an offensive. It's yeah, nah. She belongs in frustrating. I gotta be honest. For True Barrel Watchdog Duo, you're getting put in filler for a myriad of reasons. Leon Misbegotten, and this is a filler fight. The Crucible Knight is a filler fight, but I will put the Crucible Knight Duo actually in the frustrating tier somewhere, because that fight was a right pain in the ass to deal with. I hate the Cleanrot Knights, and they are filler, so they get put in filler. The same thing with the Crystallian duos. They're just enemies later on. Same thing with the Crystallians. I will put the trio in frustrating just by virtue of how they work as a mechanic. So for those who don't know, when it comes to the Crystallians, what you normally have to do with them is you have to stance break them, and then to break through their armor, and then at that point they're just easy pickings. But given their kind of jerky movement and how erratic they can be, it's a little frustrating to have to deal with them a lot of the time. We have Bloodhound Knight Darwell. The Bloodhound Knights are actually pretty good fights. As frustrating as they may be, I do genuinely think that the Bloodhound Knights kind of like test your resolve. The Deathrite Birds, I hate them. They're really fucking annoying to fight, and they just are just the freaking worst. Deathrite Bird. Listen, it's a filler. The Demi-Human Chiefs are just filler. The Demi-Human Queens and all of their they're boring. They're just boring. I can't like they're really easy to deal with. The biggest thing you have to worry about is the different mobs. Grave Warden Duelist, that's a filler enemy. It's just disappointing. The Erdtree avatars are actually pretty good. They you can handle them either up close and personal or with the or with Torrent. I actually don't really have too much bad things to say aside from the fact that they can be annoying to deal with. The Erdtree Avatar Duo, it's just I would just put this in filler because it's just more Erdtree Avatar. What do you expect? The Putrid Avatar, I would put this one more in frustrating because when you're dealing with the normal Erdtree Avatar, you're dealing with, say, you're dealing more so. Yes, honey? That was intended. Because you said you needed $200 for getting your apartment, and I wanted to help. I have the extra scratch at the moment, and Mariah's sending me some money that she already owes me, so we're good to go. If you don't feel comfortable with taking it, you're more than welcome to send it back. I have no feelings about it, and I just wanted to make things easier for you. Okay? Nope, I'm not gonna get angry. Yeah, but the Putrid Avatars are really freaking annoying to deal with, and I hate them. Let's see. Red Wolf, it's a filler boss at that point, because like the Red Wolf of Radigan is usually the first one you'll see, and it's just like, yeah, it's whatever. Alabaster Onyx Lord. These are basically just copy Alabaster Onyx Lords. These are gravity magic users, and they can be. There's really not a lot of openings with them, and they can be kind of frustrating to deal with. I'd say the Fell Twins are actually pretty good duo boss. I like fighting them significantly more than I do the Godskin duo. And I think that, all things considered, they're pretty damn good. I gotta give credit where credit's due. Kindred Rot duo is literally just enemies that you see later in the game. It's pretty sad. Um, Soldier of Godric, he's a tutorial boss, so I'd probably just put him at the bottom of. I just make him. He's inoffensive, to be honest. Even though he's just like the enemies you see normal in the games. As far as the next one we have is the Guardian Golem. This fight was boring. Boring. Capital B boring. The bell bearing hunters are the same as the other one up there. It's whatever. Um, Beastmen of Fair Missoula, it's filler. It literally you kill tons of them once you're at Crumbling Far Missoula. Bowls the Carrion Knight, which was I know that it technically has like the magic and stuff, but it's just a giant fight with some magic elements. It's filler. I hate to be. I gotta be honest. The Grafted Scion, um, as a as like the you're gonna die here so we can actually start the plot story. It's fine. It's just inoffensive. It's just nothing bad. The Mad Pumpkinhead is categorically filler and boring. Same with Omen Killer, and arguably same with Knights Cavalry. Just because they're interesting doesn't make them that any less relevant. Same with the Nox Sorceress and the freaking Poison Bloom. They're all just enemies that are rehashed. Same with the Scaly Misbegotten and the Scaly Misbegotten and Perfumer. Same with the Stone Digger Troll. Like you kill a bunch of trolls. It's freaking depressing. It actually makes me realize how much reused content is in this. You know, we have the Falling Star Beast, which is I would put this in average because of the nature of its scales and stuff, and that the fact that it's kind of a pain in the ass to fight. And it's fine. I can't really say much else. I would probably say I put there's the Royal Spirit Ancestor. I'll throw this back down here and fill it where it belongs. The Taiba Mariners are just boring. They're boring fights. They're easy pickings, easy to kill. Roundtable Knight Viking, on the other hand, is a great fight. And you fight them in multiple different orientations, and all of them are varied enough to be really interesting, even though he uses the same enemies. The Abductor Virgins fight is literally just filler. The Wormface fight is, while it is basically a bigger version of the other things that you've seen around, I will say it is kind of inoffensive, minus the Death Blight, which is patently annoying. The Spirit Collar Snail, in theory, is really, really cool. I don't really have too much problem with it, so I just put it in kind of inoffensive, just because, like, as a enemy, once it shows up, it's actually not too bad to deal with. The Spear Collar Snail Godskin duo is literally just a rehash. It's fine. Same thing with the Ruin Bear. You can fight multiple of them before you even get into the cave that requires you to fight it. Patches is actually awesome. Not as a fight, but as a storyline and how they incorporate combat into it with you, which I think is a really, really nice touch. And while Patches himself as a character is hot garbage and fuck him, I have really nothing bad to see. Let's see what else. We have the Ulcerated Tree Spirits. This is actually unironically a great fight, because it is a big lumbering mass that has very telegraphed fights, but you have to be smart with your movement, and I really, really like it. The Sanguine Noble is a filler enemy, and it can eat shit and die. Same thing with the Mad Pumpkinhead duo, as well as the other Falling Star Beasts. It's whatever. Same thing with the Royal Reverend and the Priest of Blood. It's no different from the Sanguine Nobles. The Cemetery Shade is actually a pretty great, like, good fight on its own. it only shows up a handful of times, and it'll like it has like no health, but it'll like blink around and it'll like suck shit out of you. It's pretty erratic, and it's early in the game, so it can be pretty much of a challenge. But it also summons ads. It's a really interesting fight, and I liked it a lot. A steel filler, Blackbait Kindred filler, Draconic Tree Sentinel is distinct enough from the normal Tree Sentinel that it's fine. And despite me on stream last night dying to it for about 30-40 minutes into the playthrough, it is a great fight. It is better than the Tree Sentinel in by every measure, and takes like those lessons that the Tree Sentinel does teach you in terms of combat, and does them even better. And it feels really good when you do beat them finally. So now we're on to like the big Mac Daddiers. We're gonna start. Well, I did fight this one, so it is kind of like more of a filler boss than anything. Let's start with what from easiest to hardest. Renala, Queen of the Full Moon. Renala is a boss that if you are going for like a bleed physical build, she's easy. But if you're doing a magic or an incantation build, you are going to have a really hard time. So Renala is one of those bosses that is very situation heavy, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. But we have to be pragmatic when we say that hold on real quick, let me double check something. But we have to be pragmatic. Okay. I was just making sure that my sound was on. I would put Renala, if I'm going to be objective, is a top of average fight, because she summons things and she's really good at like at area of denial with magic. Her base abilities and stuff with in her first phase, it's easy. The worst you have to worry about is getting crushed by a chandelier, and even then, like just spatial awareness will protect you from that. Next up is Riker, Lord of Blasphemy. This is a inoffensive fight. You have the gimmick of the Serpent Slayer's spear that gets the extra effects when you're in the fight with Rykard, and if you just equip that and nail them, you're easy peasy. Even if you're having the issue of like not wanting to use it and want to actually fight him, like he's not too bad. Like I would probably say he's a gimmick fight. He's just a gimmick fight where you're supposed to use the spear, and doing it any other way is kind of not as fun, given he has a huge area of denial around him and he's a fairly large monster. Moog, the Lord of Blood. Or let's do his brother first. Morgoth the Omen King is actually a great fight. The only reason why it's not an awesome fight is because at that point in the game, you're probably overpowered enough to completely curb stomp him, or underpowered where it's just like you're getting absolutely decimated. When Morg shows up, despite being as Morgott showing up being shows up at an inopportune time when you at that point are already like either too powerful or too underleveled to fight him anyways, and you kind of miss that sweet spot of exposure. But if you do get it, which I think I was lucky to get enough to get on like the third or fourth playthrough, it is a very rewarding fight, 1000%. Moog is different. He's hard, but he's not bad. I'd say that he's after Renala. Like Renala beats him by being average. He's not a good fight in terms of like he's fun to play. His lore's kind of like half fleshed out. Honestly, a lot of his gimmicks with this fight can be kind of obnoxious. Excuse me. Scar Scourge Radon is going to be put in the awesome category. This is because the ambience, the methods of fighting him, the actual lore behind him himself, and the boss fight itself is really fun and excellent, a total spectacle, but doesn't feel such a spectacle that it takes away from like the actual moment to moment fighting in combat. It is a deeply rewarding experience to fight Skarsgård Radahn, and I honestly wish I could just do the fight repeatedly. It's that good. Um, Godfrey the First Elden Lord slash uh a Horaloo warrior. Um, this is another awesome one for a couple reasons. One, you're exposed to the first phase due to fighting Godfrey's Golden Spirit, so you know a little bit of what to expect. But it's also a very deep and engaging fight. The stage 2 is really, really dip, bob weave, dodge, dodge, dodge. Like it's you got to be on point for it, and it's blood pumping, and it's fun and addicting. And unlike literally every other boss in the game, whether you die in the first phase, you die in the second phase, or you beat him, Godfrey treats you as a player, through dialogue, with a level of respect and honor through combat that every other boss in the game hasn't. Radahn might have. Radahn might have if he wasn't a mindless beast, unfortunately. But regardless, um, Godfrey or Horaloo is, in my personal opinion, one of the best, if not the best, fights in the game. Um, I would, and which brings us to, I don't know who to do first. We'll do Radagon. I'm putting Radagon in frustrating because these two are paired together. It does not matter how good fighting Radagon himself is. Fighting Elden Beast is one of the most either frustrating or most boring things on the planet. Because to me, my strategy when I fight Radagon is, alright, Radagon's the hard part. Radagon's the hard part. How do we beat Radagon? Well, we just bomb hit. I use a summon that draws his attention. Usually use Black Knife Tish, the spirit summon, because their area of effect will take off 1/10 of their health off one hit. And then I'll just bob weave with stance attacks and maybe Godslayer's Fireball, or Black Flame Fireball, I mean to say. And then once you get to Elden Beast, all you have to do is run behind it, spam Black Flames, the ones that come out of the ground, and then every time you see it, you get the Black Flames up, hit with your sword until the Black Flames go away, re-up it, because it'll just sit there like a big dumb idiot, until it decides to swim to the other side, and then you just follow it and rinse repeat. All the while your summon is taking aggro or beaming them with its own damage over time. It's fairly sad and pathetic when you think about it. So I honestly have to put him in frustrating, even though Radagon of the Golden Order is an excellent, excellent, excellent fight. The fact that they cut Torrent from being able to fight it, I feel like the Elden Beast fight was supposed to originally be a fight between it was supposed to involve Torrent, which, because you're in a wide open area, you're fighting the Elden Beast, it almost feels like a wasted opportunity in a lot of ways. And finally, we'll get to Malenia. Oh, Malenia, Blade of Mikel. What could I even say about it? There's a lot of things I could say about Malenia, Blade of Mikel. Hey, Nico. So, Malenia, Blade of Mikel. Malenia is just a unbelievably difficult boss for a myriad of different reasons, and I find them really frustrating. If they made it so Melania's stance couldn't be easily broken, and they took it as a compensation for taking away her healing ability, it would be so much better. Because I would even like not even they could keep the waterfowl dance for all I fucking care. It's just the fact that she heals on every hit makes her you almost have to default to dodging, and you are almost guaranteed to get hit every single time she goes into her waterfowl dance. You're at least that first hit is getting got, and that's fucking annoying. So, but at the same time, it's a rewarding fight when you finally beat her, especially in phase 2. So I would probably have. I want to put him in frustrating, but I can't put him in. I'll put her in frustrating. She's hard. She's hard. She's not good. She's just not a. She's just not a good fight, and that's just the reality of it. Bummer it is. But regardless, that is that is my Elden Ring rankings. So I'm gonna just real quick save. We'll real quick type in. Sorry, the cat's on my leg, and I'm trying not to be considerate of its space. HIMedia Elden Ring rankings. Download image. Save. Cool beans. And then let's just, and we'll take this and throw it up onto the Discord. Ah, man. Nico, Nico, Nico. Nico's such a good boy. Alright, we'll take this real quick. Click that. Hop into Elden Ring. Memes in a Elden Ring, Elden Ring. Cool beans. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that out of the way, it is time to, at the very least, begin journey number 9 through the lands between. Messages, templates. Things. Alright, so we will head to the and get ready, and get ready. Alrighty. And with that, we're off to Journey 9. Let's just make sure we give our balls to the our bell bearings to the Twin Maiden husks. Do we regret not killing Moog or Melania or Radon or any of them? Not really. A little stressful doing that.
Sunday afternoon, we need roommate time to like do something fun and drink chai or something.
The four.
Get ready, get ready. Fuck you. Death. I thought I could get those butterflies. That's a shame. It was worth a shot. Let's go. I'm finna beat Margot's ass. I'm finna beat his ass black and blue. You is dickhead.
Kindness fulfills your heart. Perhaps the physical lesson is in order. Maidenless runt.
Die mad.
Who do you think I am?
Die mad, die mad, die mad, die mad. I don't give a fuck about you. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward, yes we go. Miss me with your bullshit. Miss me with your bullshit. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So on, so on, so on, so on. Killing them. Fucker. Come on, give me my refill. Bastard. He was just a rookie trooper and he surely shook the fry. He checked up his equipment and made sure his back was tied. You had to sit and listen to the awful engines roar. You ain't gonna jump no more. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. He ain't gonna jump no more. Zoom, 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 zoom. Does everybody happy? Clyde the sergeant looking out. He ain't gonna jump no more. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Yes, we go
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly rust thy veins.
LOL, he D. Keep it moving.
Remember thee, tarnished, smoldering thy meager flame. Cower in fear of the night. The hands of the fell omen shall brook thee no quarter.
Cool. What's up, hon? Say what? Food? Are you hungry?
You there? Come up.
When is it here?
It's tightly guarded. By hope. Try the opening. The guards you'll breach. Well, but of course.
Let me know when it's delivered and I'll go grab it.
The gates! Open the gates!
Oof. A poke? So a poke was all it took. Ain't that a shame? Come up, come up, come up. Damn, I was so close to getting him in one go. God, that's a shame. Alright, fine. There we go.
Of all that is golden, and one day we'll return together to our home, bathed in rays of gold.
Demigod Feld. Lovely. Alrighty then, let's continue. I don't know what it is, what is needed to like make him spawn in the bottom there. Anywho, let's keep it moving. Won, didn't we? Okay, so next up we go to Renala. Because Renala's quick. Yoink! So we're going to leverage. So if you've noticed, I actually have not. I'm actually trying to see how long I can get in the game before I am forced to rest at a site of grace and have to talk to Milena. I'm curious to see how long it'll take me, like, I mean, I think I can just get... Do I want to do the Ruin-Strewn Precipice or not? Honestly, I feel like going through Volcano Manor is a bit of a pain in the ass. Even so, I think it's completely doable. Is everybody happy? Cried the sergeant looking on. What ruins are these? Hit a bull prawn shack, probably. Keep it moving.
Rather my mistress, but I was a could I ask that thug only if you've any or to bless a thug should please.
I'll get our net list back. Only because Black Bogart is the he's the homie. And if you buy the necklace off of him, comes to homie, but I like the homies.
What are you trying to start? Ah, show me, and I'll consider. I'm not in love. You're a first. All right. Things no your bloody idea, mate. Oh. All right then. I could be persuaded to sell you some other bits too. Never met someone with a taste for big mate, good mates, I reckon. I'll be seeing you.
You good peoples. You good peoples. Alright, let's get the Site of Grace. Yes, dear? It's here? Alright, let me find a Site of Grace and then I'll go grab it. This area is so freaking pretty. I can't get over how gorgeous this game looks. Just finished every One Piece episode that's currently out earlier. Really, Egg? You did that? Congratulations, man. You did something that I myself am never going to be physically capable of doing. Because, like, don't get me wrong. I don't think, I'm not expecting to be able to binge, like, One Piece nonstop 8 hours a day for 2 weeks like on a summer, because I can't do that anymore. But I genuinely, like, I feel like One Piece is like that thing, is something that I'm going to want to consume and watch when it's done. You know, it's something that I want to consume when it's finished. And apparently we're actually like close to getting to the point where it is going to be done, believe it or not, which is actually pretty cool. All 1,024 episodes, over 400 hours of anime. Jesus Christ. I honestly, at this point, would probably end up reading the manga myself, just because I personally feel like, no shade, but 400, like 30 hours of anime a week, yeah, man, like, that'd be hard for me, man, because I would want to, like, sit down and, like, keep watching. I wouldn't be able to stop it because there's 1,000 of them. Like, I probably would end up neglecting things that I shouldn't. I know myself, you know, like, I know I'm prone to doing dumb shit, personally. Not to say that's a good thing or not, but even so. There's the dragon. Can we get dim sum together? Yeah, sure. Isn't that those are like the buns, right? Did I say something dumb? Thank you for not leaving me for being a moron. Noted. Alright, I'm gonna grab it. Grab this up real quick. Come on, die already. Thank Christ. Alright. Nice. Love you. Dragon Heart. Alright. Hey, Egg, can you hold down the... Can you do me a huge favor real quick? I need to go get grocery... pick up the groceries from downstairs in the lobby. Can you hold down the fort for me real quick? I will be right back. I appreciate you, man. And then we'll talk more about One Piece when I get back. Pinky promise. Because I've actually seen, like... It's not gonna get stolen. It's... Right back. Yeah, because I've actually seen a bunch of One Piece. I can talk to you about it. I'll be back. Give me 1 sec, Egg. Let me just
to hide my camera real quick just so my girlfriend doesn't have to put on pants. We're good to go. It's off. I'll see you for now. Be more okay, understood. YouTube crashed. Ah, fuck. Come on, see you in a bit, Egg. I'm sorry that happened, bro. See you in a bit. Sorry about all that.
Took a hot minute, but we're back.
Nope. I'm not turning it back on until you sit on the couch. Alrighty, so let's see. Where are the steps to my damnation? Here they are. You. What is? What water? I'll turn that off in a moment. Let me go grab that real quick because I think there's a blockage at the moment that'll make it. Here we are. What? Here we are. We got to a location in game. Grace. I am the righteous hand of God. Academy of Rhea Lucaria. Did you say something to me, hon? Okay. Oh, you're feeding Nico? He actually got out when I was coming back. I was able to grab him quickly, though. Didn't have to take the whole run around the building. Fuck you. Absolutely. Pinky promise, that's the plan. Let me know when I can put my camera back on, hon. I hate those damn dogs. Oh, they're the worst. Okay, I'll put the camera back on. Fuck! Oh well. That's happened. I am the mountains and the God. I will tell that you are God. Ah, you fuckers. Let them fight. Let me get my ruins back. Fucker. Alrighty. So with that, we continue. Alley-oop, alley-oop. And we're good. There we go. Real quick, make it get us the quick skip so we don't have to go through all this ish again when we fight the queen, because that would be obnoxious. Alley-oop. we go. And we'll just hit that real quick, just in case we fuck up and have to go back down. Ooh, this is going to be a tight battle. There we go. That's phase one. There we go. And there's two great ruins. We did it. And we continue.
Where did ye flee, my sweetings? Come out from whence ye hide. There are books and light aplenty, dither not. Come out, say I.
We're going to do the ruin-strewn precipice. So to do that, we're going to go to the temple quarter. Just head down. Also, I realized doing a quick teleport gives me my flasks back. So that is good. Can't say I necessarily want to do the ruin-strewn precipice, but you know what? It's whatever. There is a site of grace up here I want to hit real quick. Oh, I almost messed up. Still baffled. Now the question is, if I so choose, if you never rest at the gate at the... So I'm curious to actually see Up until this point, I haven't met Milena yet. So, in that case, if we never rest at the gate front site of Grace, how far can we get to the end? Well, I mean, because obviously we need Milena to get there, and whether or not we do the frenzied flame or whatever, like we could do the frenzied flame. Like there is like the frenzied flame would be the only ending we'd get, but I don't want to do that ending just because it feels bad, man. Plus, it's kind of like a pain in the ass to go through all of that just to get there. Obnoxious, even. I am the mountains of God. I am the devil that you forgot. Oh, I didn't realize there was a gold ruin skull there. Interesting. You learn something new every day. You gonna crash on me, game? Thank Christ. Here I thought this bitch was gonna crash on me. Eat me, dirty little gremlins. I hate you. I hate you so. You all can die. Please. There we are. The ruin-strewn precipice. Honestly, I feel like that mine is like harder to deal with than like the rest of this. I mean, the boss is one thing, but honestly, I don't really mind too much. It's all like kind of mid or whatever. Jesus, they all just following me and shit. They want my ass really bad, and I won't give it to them. Have I ever been over here? Is there even anything over here? Nah, there's not. You fucker. Oh, I got made. fuck off, and I hate all of you so very much. God, I hate these damn bats. Not as bad as birds. Certainly not as bad as birds. God, I hate birds. Not birds in real life, just birds in Elden Ring. Birds in Elden Ring freaking suck. Eat me. Darn it. Fucker. Reach me now, bitch. Alrighty. God damn it. God damn it. I hate you. 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 Do I get Bullhorn Torgoth here? Please tell me I get Bullhorn. This is gonna be easy peasy, and I'm happy to see it. Oh, he's a thick boy. I forget that he's a little bit tanky. Miss me with your bullshit. Ooh. And we won. Ah, the Atlas Plateau. We are here. All good, hon? You know what? That's on me. That death is on me. I'm gonna just skim this to the sacks. Fuck 'em. If only could. Alrighty, so we are now at the Atlas Plateau. We started the game about an hour ago, and I don't even think we've stopped at a site of praise. Honestly, as much as I like the Volcano Manor skip because it basically, I don't know, allows you to kill Rykard as your second, you know, Great Ruin, I feel like it's a little bit more time consuming, all things considered. Maybe if I come in from the north. Nah, fuck it, I'll just bob and weave through the tree sentinels like usual. Bob and weave, bob and weave, bob and weave, bob and weave. I mean, because it's right there. It's quicker. Sometimes I look in her, swear that I'll find a piece of I wanna go. Hug the wall, hug the wall, hug the wall, hug the wall. Skip the ballistas. Right in the center so I have better movement to get around the archers. Ah, you fuck. I hate it here. And I will walk 500 miles and I will walk 500 more. You miss me, bitch. We're at the 2 tree sentinels. Missed me with your bullshit. Nah, fuck you too. I remember the first time I went through here, it was just like a 1-2 whammy every single time. Not to say that's a bad thing, but man, if it wasn't rough. What is this? Frickin' golems. There's Mount Gilmere. Which is where... Which is honestly that Mount Gil like the town of Mount Gilmere, like the Volcano Manor town, is in fact one of my favorite environments. Got him too. Well, Stake America. This is how we do it. There we go. Oh no! I thought we just needed 2 ruins. How many great ruins do I need? Multiplayer equipment. Inventory. I killed Godric. Alright, it's fine. Yes, hon? Can you give me a sec? Damn, I need more great ruins. Alrighty, so I guess... So who can we get right now? I think you can get to Moog based off of... I think there's an alternative way to get to him. I just don't know it. I'd have to Google that. But I think we're... you know what? Let's go to the Stormfront Gate. To the gate front, as it were.
Have you heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve, but you, I can play turning to aid you. You need to the foot. Then it's set. Summon me. Ah, Torrent has treat him. Forgive me, to see whether and it seems my torrent, whereas there is, but I can take gathering plate. Very let my hand.
I'm just curious to see what happens when I already have 2, what are they called? Great Ruins at this point. Let's see.
Only fine, you have earned now to become the Finger as much from you as they do young Gideon. Now become.
Cool. So that's that. But, alright, so let me see if we can get to Margit. If we can get to Margit, I think that would probably be a good place to run. Dun, 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 dun. Na, 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 na. Shoo-ba-doo, shabba-da, shoo-ba-doo, shabba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Shoo-ba-doo, shabba-da, shoo-ba-doo, shabba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-da-bo. Meep moop. Meep moop. Noot noot. What, hon? Please what? Phone charger? Alright, I'll go grab it real quick. wrap up this boss in Lindell. I feel like doing the fire giant. I mean, I could technically do the rest of this run in this stream, and I think I might start doing that. Like, I don't know, I might just start doing more and more Elden Ring runs, trying to see how fast I can get through them on my own.
For bringing me here, and thus I shall depart. Farewell. I shall leave. I wish you luck. I have no.
Up we go. Fuck off. God, those gargoyles are always so uncomfortable. Lovely. Come on, baby, baby, come on, baby, baby, come on, baby, baby, come on. Fuck off. There we go. Fuck your throne, bitch. Concepts.
Hello again. Allow me, you are unable prevented the thorn, a husk of the only way, and become my purpose. So I'd like to the flame then and guide you.
Okay, so lame.
Tarnished. Thou art but a fool. The Erd Tree wards off all who deign approach. We are all forsaken.
that, I think the final part of the game is a lot, kind of a bit rough of an ask all in one stream. It took me 2 hours just for the last part of just to beat the fire giant Malekith, the lead up to Malekith, Godfrey, and God. Malekith really did take up the bulk of that time. He killed Godfrey in what, 2-3 tries, and I killed Radigan, I think, on the first try of the last one. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. A big thanks to all of the patrons you see on the side right here. They support the show, the stream for as little as $1 a month, but not to take away from you. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for liking the VOD so people can see it later. I appreciate you, your time, and your viewership. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest